Welcome back, FISHGUM fans. We will show you how to make Frank's fly. That is a sand flea fly inspired by using pistachio shells. What you'll do is you'll use this fly in place of the hooks that you have on your single drop rig or your surf fishing double rig. I cannot wait for you to make this and use it. The clips that follow will show you fish that were caught using Frank's fly. Before you watch it, before I give you this secret, please subscribe to my channel. Become part of the FISHGUM fan family. Please hit notifications and please like this video. Thank you so much. Enjoy. With the how-to video on how to make Frank's fly, I do have to share with you all who taught me this. My uncle, he's in his 80s, still loves to fish, lives vicariously through me, getting fishing reports about the surf and what I'm catching. He taught me everything that I know about surf fishing. He also taught me how to make Frank's fly. His name is Uncle Bill. We call him Captain Bill. He was a fishing guy down in the Florida Keys, and he taught many people how to tarpon fish, fly fish for tarpon, permit fishing, any type of successful fishing down in the Florida Keys, he did. But he was also a huge surf fisherman. One day he came across some people on the beach out fishing him, and he went up and, as a avid learner, wanted to know what they were doing. They reeled their lines in and showed them that they were fishing with a fly just like this. They told him exactly how to make it, and it became his go-to surf fishing fly. I call it Frank's fly because, as you'll see, one of the key components in this fly is the shell of a pistachio nut. That's right, that is a shell of a pistachio nut. My father's no longer living. His favorite nut was a pistachio. That's why I call this Frank's fly. Let's get started watching how to make it. All right, let's go through what you will need to make Frank's fly. The very first thing that you will need and must purchase and must eat are pistachio nuts. The shell of the pistachio nut is the starting point and the basis for making Frank's fly. It has a great shape that resembles a coquina clam, and when you dip it, it can also resemble a sand flea. So you will need shells from a pistachio nut. Super hard, perfect. The next thing you will need is circle hooks. Now these are 2-aught Eagle Claw Circle C hooks. They're offset. That's what I use when I make my sand flea fly. You can also use smaller hooks. However, if you use smaller hooks, this is a comparison of a number 4 hook on a sand flea fly and a number 2-aught hook. What you'll have to do if you're using smaller hooks, by all means you can, is you're going to have to grind down along the edges of the pistachio nut so this isn't so big that the hook is not going to be ineffective. So you'll actually have to grind that down. You'll need some pliers. You'll need a glue gun, a hot glue gun. You'll need to purchase some plasti dip. This is what you're going to dip the sand flea fly into, pull out to make the coating resemble a white sand flea. Now this stuff dries pretty quickly, and it doesn't really last that long when you store it on a shelf, so you'll have to purchase some VM&P naphtha. It's a reconditioner. You stir this into the plasti dip and it will bring it back to a consistency that you can use. The next thing you'll need is a stick and a box to hang your sand flea flies onto to drip dry. Now, another option, if you don't want to use the hot glue gun, is to purchase some Loctite epoxy instant mix. This actually mixes as it is used. Now, the reason why you want to use this as an option is the hot glue has some give to it after you coat it inside the shell. If you use the epoxy by Loctite, there is no give. So this is actually a more durable fly for long-term use. However, this one works too, and there's no problem if you want to use the hot glue. I use both. It's just different ways to prepare your fly. Again, this has no give. This has got some give to it. In the end, they both still catch fish. But that's an option. This is a more of a messier option, but it's a good option. I do like using the Loctite. So those are your ingredients. Let's get started in making Frank's fly. It's very simple to do. We will grab a shell, make sure the fat end is up, and you want to place the eyelet of the actual hook where the fat end is, and just hold it there with one finger. Okay, like that. It's pretty level. You can feel that it's level. Then we're going to put a little tack spot just to hold this in place. I'm going to coat the end right there at the slim end. We've got it coated. You can move it around a little bit. There we go. So you can see that I'm going to let that dry a second. This is just the starting point, so we can actually have a sturdy hook within the shell, so that we can completely fill the shell with the hot glue in a second. But always start with a little bit of a tack spot. You can lick your finger and push it down. That's what I typically do. And once it's in place, that's ready to go. Now check your flatness of the eyelet in relationship to the shell. That's pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and fill it. Try to squirt underneath and let it coat the actual hook. Now once this begins to fill again, you're going to have some movement in the hook because the hook's getting hot, and where that tack spot is going to get hot, and it's going to loosen up a little bit. So be careful. See, now it's loose again. All right, that's filled up. We're just going to watch to make sure. There we go. Check your lines to make sure it's flat against the edge, and that is going to dry. Now once that dries, it's ready to be dipped. I will say this, I'd mentioned before using the Loctite epoxy instead. When you're dealing with hot glue, this is heat sensitive. So if you were to leave your sand flea fly in the car, the Frank's fly in the car, it's going to loosen that up again too, because the heat from the car is going to cause it to heat up and cause some movement in there. If you're using the epoxy, it doesn't do that. Again, it doesn't really matter to me what you use. They're both effective. It's just a preference if you want something more durable, long-term use, or if you want something that has a little bit of give to it. It's still durable, but you may have some give to it. That's just the honest opinion, pluses and minuses. All right, I can set this down now. It's sturdy enough, dry enough, cooled enough, or I can set it down. Let's do number 2. Again, we're going to go ahead and fat end up. Place the hook in there. Hold it down tight with one finger. Tack spot in place. And let that dry. Then we're going to fill this one too. You can lick your finger, push it down in place. Check your line. That's good to go. Let's go ahead and fill that up. All right, need to put another glue stick in there. Here we go. There we go, filling it up. Careful not to burn yourself. It is getting hot holding this shell. There we go. That's looking good. Alright, hold it still, let it dry. Again, check your line. Looks very flat against each other. And that is good to go. We're going to let it sit. And now it's time to dip. So we're going to go ahead and dip each one of these. So you're going to grab the end of the hook kind of between the barb and the bend. You're going to actually dip it in to the plasti dip. Coat it all the way until it looks like that. Let it drip a couple seconds. Again, you're going to need about 2 to 3 coats in order to have enough plasti dip that makes this into a viable fly. We're going to go ahead and hang it. There's one done. Same process. That's where you grab it. You can turn the plasti dip bottle over a little bit to give a little bit of angle, and all of a sudden it coats it. There's number 2. We're going to drip it for a minute. Alright, there's number 2. We got them hanging and we got them drying. So they'll continue to drip until they're dried. Drying process will probably take 15 minutes where you can recoat it because it's not that big of a surface area when you're dealing with the sand flea fly. Total cure after you're done making these, I'd let them cure and dry for about 6 hours. Then you can use them. So the process to make them is very simple. The coating process is simple. The drying process is going to be the most tedious because you just let them sit there and dry, but you let them do the work when it comes to drying them. When these are completely done, I'm going to coat them 3 times is the magic number. You must coat these 3 times. When they're done coating, I'll show you how to cut out the eyelet so you can use them for fishing. Frank's fly is dry. 3 coats again of your plasti dip. The way you expose the eyelet is you just take a knife, you kind of trim around it. Don't cut yourself. If you're younger than the age of, gosh, I don't know what knife safety is, but if you're young, get your parents' help to cut this. And it should peel right off. We just grab it, and there you go. Exposed and ready to fish. A completed Frank's fly, sand flea fly, coquina fly. That's it. You will catch more fish in the surf when you make this fly. Thank you so much for watching. I did lie to you a little bit. I said I was going to post how to make Frank's fly when we reached 300 subscribers. I wanted to do it early because I'm so thankful for you. Thank you for joining this channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so now. There will be many more fun videos, many more opportunities to watch us catch fish here in the surf. And so please subscribe. And also, when we get to 200 subscribers, I will give 5 samples away of the Pomp shoes, our investigational better fish bites for you to try, for you to give me feedback. Happy Thanksgiving, and join us right here on FISHGUM when we excite the surf strike.
Fans flip for FISHGUM.
There it is. Yeah!
Hi,
You're going to be on YouTube, man.
Fans
Good job,
flip
Allie.
for fish.